Hi, Maria Cullimore here. We're back on our relationship workshop series. Um, I just need to remind you the whole purpose of these videos is for us to listen, make assessments, check ourselves when we're with our relationships and our partners because we want the best. But also understand, ideally, it would be great if both of you listened, but more than likely, it's only one of you ready to. So don't feel too badly about the fact they aren't. What you are really going to focus on is bringing your best self to the conversations between you and your partner. You always want to be at your best. You want to improve you because automatically the relationship improves. From the time one of you is doing better, the relationship improves. And then that will give you the grace and time to do the other. In many cases, we focus a lot of our energy on your partner and what they are missing and lacking. And in reality, you need to be focusing that energy onto yourself. What do I need to do differently? How can I improve and show up for me before I expect somebody else to show up for me? Because often there are many things we're requesting of others we are not giving ourselves. Are you asking him to take you out, for example? You're asking him to take you out. Do you normally take you out? Do you normally treat you well? Because if you're accustomed to treating yourself well, then you understand being treated well. But if you're just doing it because romance novels and books say, then what is well for you? I personally, I'm not into doing what everybody else is doing, but into things that are practical and fun for us both, but also sustainable. So for me, if I have to choose, I really like when we do stuff that's a part of your real world so that you can sustain it and not you show off and take me somewhere real nice and expensive and we go there once and then because I hate you so hard, you can't see me for a few more months because you're trying to financially recover. That makes no sense. I'm sorry. It doesn't. But let's get back to the reoccurring argument. I realized that there's an important part of reoccurring argument that I left off. The ending. And the ending is this. After we go through the what I bring up as points, what you think you heard, to see if you're on the same path, the next question is, how do you want me to show up in the next argument? How do you want me to show up when this thing arises next time? Now, the beauty of that question is it gives me straight directives. I don't have to think about it. I don't be guessing. I don't got to use my creativity. I can hear what you want. Your job, you the person who made the request, it's also your job to know yourself enough and to know what you actually want. What do I actually want? What does it look like? What does it show up like? When you do show up, what would I like? What would I like our stuff to really look like? There is a level of vulnerability you then have to put yourself through because you now have to really know, well, what do I want that person to do differently? Is it really something they need to fix or is it something I need to fix? Because often that is the issue. It comes right back to you could give clearer directions. Also, I want to bring up this point that people overlook all the time. It's a cultural thing where the thing I want is the thing you deprive me of. I want a lot of attention. So she wants much attention. I ignore her. She need to learn how to do it. No. If I want a lot of attention at a particular time, if you give me what I want and you satisfy my need, then I don't want it anymore. I'm good. So give me till I soak up the amount I need because you have to think of me as hungry or in a desert. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten for days. Do not drop scraps in front of me. Let me eat a proper set of food. I might gorge. I might be on me like a tick for a few days. And then once I've got enough and we're back to copacetic, it's not a real word, but don't mind. I like it. We used to use that at school. We're back to copacetic. Then, bam, I don't need it anymore. I can release you. You can go about your business. I'm not as clingy. I'm good. But a lot of times our clinginess, when you see me clingy, when you see a person particularly needy about it, they're going through something and they need this thing outside of themselves because they're having difficulty producing it. So I might need a lot of self-love and tenderness, right? Because I'm having a rough time and I can't pull it all together by myself. So I want enough hand holding, enough hugs, enough comforting words. When I ask for that need, try to supply it. It's not going to be forever, but it is real to that individual and it doesn't go away. It just doesn't go away if you don't feed it. And if you let them have to feed it when they're at their lowest and their worst, there's great resentment that builds. Great resentment builds because I'm asking for you for something that I think I'm being so clear in and you're completely dismissing it. Which is why these conversations, the way we have them, matter so much, because the aim here is to be heard. You want to practice always being clearly heard, and you want to practice understanding what this person's needs are so you could get to the next stage. Oh, your birthday coming up, you feeling insecure about being older, you want me to treat you like it's the hardest thing since sliced bread because right now you're feeling a little insecure. Oh, I still got hot for you, of course. Sure, I didn't realize I had dropped my attention or how much I think. It's all about, and these things are real to the individual. It's real, and it doesn't matter how crazy it is, which is what I remember I was saying about pettiness. Don't use the term. Don't think of it as petty. Think of it as, okay, I knew a girlfriend whose partner required a lot of cuddling. And she said sometimes she just wasn't in the mood for it. But it would often be that he really had areas of insecurity. So if you've done what you think you can manage as your top, I also recommend that you say to them, you feeling insecure. You need to go and work out what your part in this is. This is how much I can deliver. You have to deliver the rest. So it's fair to both of you. But it still means you heard me. It still means you validated me. You are trying to make me happy. And I think that is sometimes why we have that reoccurring argument. We don't feel validated. I don't feel like you are doing anything to make this better. And I don't feel capable myself to make it better by myself. But because we're having this discussion and I'm looking at myself introspectively, I now can. I never could before. We weren't getting over this. One of the things also that I want you, the person listening to this video, who is the major changer, acknowledge the power lies with you. Because I don't want you to think, oh, I tried these and they're bogus because he's not on board. Or she's not on board. It doesn't matter if the other person's on board. When you start to see yourself differently, when you start to analyze your reactions, when you start to recognize your power is with you, you are more powerful than you ever give yourself credit for. And you literally could dictate exactly how this relationship goes based on what is your perception of what's going to happen. So if people have a tendency of going, oh, but he was never going to receive this. Yes, and whatever you believe is the outcome. Is the outcome. If, however, you believed, I'm going to set the mood and he is going to absolutely hear me for the first time in ways he never heard me before, that is the result you'll get. Because you set it up. How you start that conversation in your spirit will determine its outcome in your reality. So remember, if you lose fear or you let doubt come in your way, you will change the shape of it. But if you hold to, he's going to love this, we're going to have a fantastic conversation, and I'm going to get a result. And even if he doesn't do exactly what I want, I am going to make sure this is important to me and I deal with this matter. Accountability, not for them, it's for you. Am I being kind to me? Because a lot of times the whole reason that you're having all this angst is you've overgiven. You haven't been looking after your own affairs. You keep leaving it with somebody else to look after. You keep hoping someone else is going to bring the love. That's not their job. That's your job. So bring the love for you. When they're not showing up, what love can I give to myself? How can I soothe myself? How can I show me immense amount of love? So just remember, Believe in a good outcome. Remember to ask, how can I